So what do
Yes,
you do in Bhopal?
sir, I have been selected for the Indian Police Service, but I'm on extraordinary leave, sir.
Oh, why leave?
Sir, I have given the exam again and I wanted to prepare wholeheartedly, so I took the extraordinary leave, sir.
Okay, all right. So you are IAN or IAN?
I answer.
IAN.
Yes, sir.
So what does it mean? Any idea?
Yes, sir. Sir, it means eternal bliss and it also means gift of God.
Okay. So you are a gift of God.
I try to be, sir.
Wonderful. Yeah. Very good. Now you hail from a police family where father is a DG police, and is he head of police force or is he DGP only?
No, sir. He was the DG Police of training. Now he has retired, sir.
Now he has retired. Okay. So what is the flip side of IPS that you have seen with your father, staying with him for so long?
Sir, I personally would not think of it as a flip side. In my personal experience and through his experiences, I have felt that the Indian Administrative Service allows more diverse opportunities and working with the people in diverse areas. Sir, perhaps one could say that the Indian Police Service is a hectic service or a stressful service.
Okay. But then even in IAS, you will have to face certain situations where if you are not signing on the dotted line, you are likely to be posted to a remote area. Are you willing to take that kind of a stress?
Sir, I do understand that such stresses will be there, but sir, I will certainly take the righteous decision and I would be open to working anywhere, sir. I do not believe that it would be a punishment or a sacrifice on my career.
But then why do you think that only IPS has a lot of stress?
Sorry, sir. Sir, I meant to say that it is probably one of the flip side of IPS as you had asked. But overall, sir, certainly I would be extremely happy to work in the Indian Police Service also, sir.
Okay, all right. Now, you seem to be having lots of extracurricular activities, sports, and different positions, and you are also teaching some children. How did you find time for all such activities?
Sir, I'm not doing all these activities at present, sir. Chess is my hobby and I do play it on a almost daily basis. So the teaching and the other volunteering activities I had done in my college, sir, primarily my first and second year.
Okay. You also did some NSS internship. What is that?
Yes, sir. Sir, I was part of NSS as a volunteer as well as an in charge. And I was the in charge of NSS internships. And I have myself also taken part in an NSS internship, sir. As the in charge, sir, I was overseeing the different internships that volunteers went, coordinating with the respective NGOs and ensuring proper attendance. And if there are any complaints from the side of the NGO, I would look into those matters, sir.
With which NGO did you have internship personally?
Sir, I personally had with the NGO Vidya.
Vidya.
Yes,
So,
sir.
do they get any foreign grants?
Sir, I'm not aware, sir, but I believe they do not, but I will check, sir.
Oh, it's okay. So, what exactly did you do in Vidya?
Yes. Sir, my primary role was that of a teacher. I was teaching young school children from the age of around 8 to 14. Personally, I was in charge of two students. One was an 8-year-old girl and one was in 9th grade. Apart from that, sir, along with the other volunteers, I helped in organizing the annual fest at Vidya, sir. This was conducted in a Kendriya Vidyalaya within IIT Delhi campus, sir.
Now, there is some criticism about some NGOs that they pay fat salaries to their. Or do you think that NGOs, in order to deliver good qualitative service, should pay to professionals very well?
Sir, I do understand the concern in such a high salary with relation to possible money laundering and also concerns regarding terror financing. But sir, we do see NGOs carrying out excellent work and contributing to governance deficit and filling up those areas. Sir, for volunteering activities to attract dedicated and talented, competent persons, it is important to give them high salary. But yes, sir, proper monitoring should be done so that there is no scope of misuse of such funds, sir.
So, in relation to the expenditure on the administration of NGOs, particularly those who get funds from abroad. The FCRA has been amended. So what are the amendments brought in?
Yes, sir. Sir, one amendment was that the percentage of foreign funding that can be used for administration, that has been reduced from, I believe, from 50% to 20%, sir. I will check once again. And secondly, sir, now the funds cannot be transferred and they can thirdly only be received in the SBI branch in New Delhi, sir.
Okay. Why do you think such amendments were brought in?
Sir, they were due to the concerns of NGOs, particularly those which are receiving donations from international organizations, concerns regarding money laundering, or also the role of such NGOs in terror financing or in anti-national activities. So to monitor such funding, sir, and to ensure it is only done for the right purposes.
Okay. Now you studied in IIT, and
Yes.
IITs also started, expanding their domain. For instance, they wanted to set up a center, a branch in Tanzania,
Yes.
Africa. So, do you think it's really necessary for IITs to showcase their talents in other African countries?
Sorry, sir, the last part of the question got cut.
Is it
Sir.
necessary for the IITs to showcase their talents in African countries like Tanzania?
Sir, I do not believe that the only purpose of this is to showcase the IIT's talent in other countries. That is certainly a plus point, sir, for boosting India's soft power overall. Second, sir, would also be to build people-to-people connect with the other countries. For example, when their students approach Indian universities. Thirdly, sir, also for the Indian diaspora to stay connected to India and to receive high quality of education. Fourthly, sir, I also believe that in expanding IITs abroad, IITs will also be able to learn from the education ecosystem abroad and to develop our own technical know-how.
Okay. Now, finally, before I pass on to my colleague, tell me, as a sports person, whether India is ready to host Olympics sometimes 12, 13, 14 years later.
Sir, I certainly do feel so. India has developed in every aspect, and sports is also one of them. If we look at our achievements in various sports such as chess, where India is at the top, sir, and also our own infrastructural capacity and our economic capacity, we can certainly take this opportunity and benefit from it immensely, sir.
But we thought of doing it while hosting Commonwealth Games, but then our schedules, there was miserable failure in achieving the targets, overruns, etc.
Sir, in my understanding, when the Commonwealth Games were held in 2009, I think, sir, that was a different situation for India. And we have developed in economically, infrastructurally, and also we will be able to now utilize all the developments done in this regard for other purposes also. And sir, now that India is an extremely important power globally, this will further boost our soft power and our capacities with respect to organizing of the events and our security measures. All of them have seen a marked improvement, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'll now hand over to our former DGP, Mr. Reddy.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Hello, AYAN or AYAN?
Good afternoon, sir. I answer.
AYAN.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is another very similar to your name, Aryan, who was in news for some time. Do you
Yes,
know
sir.
that?
Sir, one I know is Aryan Khan, the son of Mr. Shah Rukh Khan.
He was in the news for wrong reasons.
Yes, sir.
Do you know the incident? Why he was in news?
Yes, sir. Sir, in a particular party or a get-together, he was found where a lot of drugs and substances were found, sir.
Has it been proved?
Sir, as per the latest reports, it was not proved, sir, and he was not guilty, sir.
Good. We have a row recently with the Maldives.
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate a bit on why we had this problem and what is happening now?
Yes, sir. Sir, in the last few months itself, Maldives' internal government has risen to power with the campaign of India Out, and President Mohammad Muizu has used it as his campaign. So there have developed anti-India sentiments in Maldives. And sir, some people consider it to be an influence of China also. Secondly, sir, in the last few weeks, there was an incident where our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji was insulted by some ministers from Maldives, which led to a boycotting of Maldives from the side of Indians. And now, sir, we are seeing Maldives as growing closer to China and also taking steps which are not allowing the research vessel to take port at Maldives. And also the fact that Maldives president did not visit India this year, sir. Overall, sir, these are the reasons which have caused this row, sir.
And don't you think that we are distancing Maldives? They will go to the side of China, which is not very beneficial for us. What do you say on this?
Yes, certainly, sir. For India, Maldives is very important because of its location, sir. And so we are trying to repair our relations with Maldives, and we should take further steps to ensure that it is not moving towards China. At the same time, sir, India has to maintain its own reputation and its image globally of maintaining its strategic autonomy and as a powerful leader, which has an influence on other countries rather than us being influenced by other countries' whims. So, sir, we have to take a nuanced stance and we have to further diversify our relations to reduce the threat, sir.
Good.
Thank you.
Your interests I could see, chess. You have
Yes,
a
sir.
passion I could see. You have some championships on this. You got it, and you also some medals I think in this, isn't it?
Yes,
At various levels.
yes.
Can you tell me who is the national champion now?
Yes, sir. At present, sir, Ramesh Babu Pragnananda is the highest rated player.
Yeah. He defeated whom?
Sir, he defeated Ding Liren in the recent Tata Steel chess tournament, sir.
Okay, that's only a few weeks back, I think. 1 week or
Yes,
2
sir.
weeks back.
Yes,
Hmm.
sir.
He is also, there is another family member of Ramesh Babu, who is also known in the chess, arena. Who
Yes.
is that?
Sir, it is Pragnananda's sister, Vaishali Ramesh Babu.
Good. You are
Thanks.
very much up to date, I must say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ayan, you studied in IIT Delhi, and then I find that IITs are in the news, and they're also the relevance of IITs is also under scrutiny. At one level, the perception is that they are very elitist enclaves, number one. Number two, they are in the news for certainly not for right reasons, but sometimes, for wrong reasons. What with dropouts and suicides and stuff. Can you shed some light on, why, IITs are under scrutiny and they keep appearing in the news? Not entirely for good reasons.
Sir, certainly IITs being the premier institutions of our India and being heavily subsidized and also focused by our government, they have an accountability to society, because of which they are often in the news for this scrutiny, sir. There are both positive news as well as negative news, sir. Sometimes perhaps the negative items gain more attraction, but it is true, sir, as you have mentioned, that there are several issues which are coming to light, sir. For example, the high number of dropouts, the mental health issues various students are facing, and also the relevance of IIT, sir, in terms of the research contribution and also about students going into different fields. So whether the very purpose of IITs is being fulfilled or not. Sir, I believe that to some extent, yes, it is still being fulfilled, sir. And certainly IITs continue to be relevant. IITs also have to update themselves in terms of curriculum, diversity, and also in increasing the employment opportunities in India itself to ensure that the IITians prefer to work in India itself. This will fulfill their objectives, sir.
Most of the IITs are seen, either as export quality or, they stray into streams like civil services like you. So what purpose at the end of the day are they serving?
Yes.
What kind of, technological breakthroughs one can really attribute to IITs, which make, a turnaround. And ultimately, help us realize, yeah, for this purpose, we created these IITs and now, they are paying it back to society. That kind of feeling one doesn't get somehow.
Sir, while it is true that the research culture in IITs and in India overall is not up to mark, because of which we are not able to see the visible contributions at a large scale. But still, sir, in my opinion and my understanding, the teaching at IIT equips individuals with the necessary skills and also the technological understanding to work in different areas, not only in the core research areas, sir. And also the qualities of IIT, sir. The new IITs sometimes are questioned for their quality, but that will see a significant improvement in 10 to 15 years, perhaps, sir. And the contribution of IITs will continue to be seen in multiple areas, sir.
But IITs, apart from sending our brilliant technocrat minds to places outside the country, I have a feeling that not many IITs are into startup ecosystem. What is holding them back? Why are they looking for greener pastures outside India, probably into high paying jobs elsewhere, or jobs such as administrative jobs? So do you think we have to address this issue from the startups end, or change the entire outlook of these IITs? Where do we begin?
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe that the reason for the same is both due to the lacunae in IITs as well as the Indian ecosystem altogether. Sir, IITs in their curriculum perhaps do not focus adequately on research, and they focus more on the theoretical parts, which often does not inculcate that research culture amongst the students. Secondly, sir, in India, perhaps the opportunities at a high level of education are not up to mark, because of which students prefer to work in other countries, sir. And even the higher education for research or PhD, some students consider that the quality is not comparable to foreign universities. As for startups, sir, in India, we have seen that the number of startups has risen significantly, but still a large number of startups are not able to succeed, either due to lack of innovation or due to the regulatory hurdles or due to lack of hand-holding, sir. In this regard, certainly we should make an effort, and IITs themselves can play a role for counseling of students and also developing the culture of entrepreneurship. For example, sir, in IIT Delhi, there was an entire dedicated cell called the Entrepreneurship and Development Cell, which played a role in this regard, sir. Incubation centers can be further enhanced in IITs, which will help in the testing of startups and in guiding them in every step, sir. This will also
Yeah. Okay. Good.
India, sir.
Now, you have some, environment of police in your say upbringing. You come from a family where your father is a police officer, and it's such a coincidence that you also currently got selected for IPS. I'm sure it must have occurred to you that police is not really seen in our country as a very friendly force. Quite often, a citizen's initial perception of a police is, fear, rather than someone in whom he can actually confide or run into to, put him at ease. Why do you think this actually happens, and what can be done?
Yes. So there are multiple reasons for this reputation of the police, sir. First, I would say, sir, is that the lack of training or the issues in training. For example, there is not adequate focus on training the soft skills of police officers. For example, how to communicate or how to treat women properly. Secondly, sir, in terms of the police working conditions, they have to work long hours in very stressful conditions, which affects their interactions with people. Thirdly, sir, the low percentage of women in the police force, only around 6% as of now, that also plays a role in interacting, particularly with women, which causes a huge fear of women. Fourthly, sir, we hear incidents of custodial torture which sometimes has to be done, or rather is employed by the police to extract information. But it being a third degree measure, it causes doubts on the police and creates fear in the public. To reform the
Did it?
same, sir.
Yeah.
Sir.
Please go on. Yeah, please go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please
Sir,
go on.
yes, sir. To reform these, sir, first would certainly be to improve the training of police personnel, especially focusing on building sympathy towards people and in inculcating soft skills. Second, sir, having more programs for interactions of police with public. This will build a sense of a proximity with the police, and also a feeling that the police is there to help the people rather than being seen as a fearful force. Thirdly, sir, when it comes to incidents like custodial tortures, then again the counseling of police personnel, strict punishment, and also installation of CCTVs. This will help in reducing incidents and thereby improve their reputation, sir.
Okay, it's reported in today's newspaper about some Gujarat's case where couple of police officers the case of some what is that Garba dance incident. So police officers transgressed actually the Supreme Court's guidelines regarding custody. What is that about, and what is that Supreme Court guidelines?
Yes, sir. So the incident was that 4 persons from a specific religious community were tied to a pole and beaten by the police, sir. This later the High Court ordered imprisonment for the police officers who went to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has now upheld the High Court's decision in saying that the police cannot take such excessive measures. And while it is true that police has to sometimes take harsh measures to protect the law, but they cannot go outside the scope of procedures laid down by the law, sir.
So to what do you attribute this kind of a transgression by police quite often? Perhaps this may not be one of kind of an incident, right? And we keep hearing quite often.
Yes, sir.
Is
Sir, I
it
would
because they think they are above law, or where the problem lies?
Sir, I believe the problem is at multiple levels, sir. First would certainly be the understaffing of police personnel and their hectic work conditions, which pushes them to take such measures, seemingly to solve the issue in a quick manner, or perhaps to vent out their frustration. Secondly, sir, again, is the faults in training, the lack of sensitization, and the lack of focus on such issues. Thirdly, sir, the lack of punishment given for such transgressions, which reduces the accountability of police officers. Fourthly, sir, the civic sense in people also to some extent might be to blame. Often people in society violate law or undermine the law, which causes a large number of issues for the police. And the police might feel that the standard measures may not yield a solution. Thus, they resort to such measures, sir. Lastly, would certainly be the lack of monitoring of police personnel, sir. All of these have to be addressed.
Okay. Now there are actually two paradigms regarding policing. One, school of thought actually believes that it must be more visible, policing. The other school thinks that it must be very unobtrusive kind of policing. What model suits our country the best?
Sir, I believe it has to be a combination of both, sir. Police carrying out their duties must also be visible to some extent to create a deterrent effect, to ensure that people do not try to violate the law just because they think that they are not being monitored or not under police jurisdiction. At the same time, sir, as we are moving to a welfare state rather than being a police state, we have to focus on the more empowering the people and improving their conditions, rather than presenting ourselves as a state where police has excess authority or arbitrariness, sir.
And finally, you studied maths probably, as part of your IIT course, and also took maths for this particular exam. I was just wondering, maths is such a difficult subject, and it is certainly not liked by many, right from primary, secondary, and higher up levels. How can we actually make maths really enjoyable? Are there any new approaches new pedagogies being tried out? Did it come to your notice, or you have some kind of a thoughts, on that issue yourself?
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe the primary measure needed in this regard is to ensure the foundation of maths is taught in a more fun and understandable manner, rather than only focusing on theoretical aspects and teaching maths in a rigorous way. The concept should be made more relatable and visualizable. For example, sir, the use of abacus for counting, the use of audiovisual tools and animations to show geometry or other concepts, and also, sir, to promote more creativity and thinking in maths, for example, through maths activities and creative problems, rather than focusing only on the rigorousness of maths. Thirdly, sir, I would also say that one technology has been tried out is through the virtual reality to allow better contextual understanding of mathematical concepts. This can be tried out in.
Okay. Now, any real life situations can be simulated so that maths actually becomes experiential.
So sorry, so the first part of the question I missed, sir.
No, okay. Can we actually make it, learning more experiential by applying to real life situations?
Yes, sir. I do feel so, sir. For example, if we relate maths to real life, for example, taxation, for basic understanding of tax to students, or if we talk about how students can utilize their pocket money in a better manner, this can help them understand concepts like linear programming, sir. And also, again, using shapes or objects found in our reality, or rather in the reality specific to the student, sir. For example, for tribal persons or persons living in forests, we have to use their understanding. That will help them grasp the subjects in a much better manner, sir.
Okay, finally, before I conclude, I was just wondering if, on this issue of suicides or dropouts in IITs, is there a correlation to this phenomenon with the socio-economic status of those students who actually drop out or commit suicides?
Sir, I have not referred to the statistics to see whether it is always so, but certainly, sir, this does play a factor. For many students coming from a humble background economically, they feel higher pressure to do well in IITs, or sir, they may also not have adequate resources to be able to do well in IITs, which may cause a dropout, sir. Socially also, sir, we have seen cases of discrimination, for example, on the basis of caste, which may propel students to take such measures, sir. And thirdly, sir, but I believe that even persons who are coming from an economically sound background or not being discriminated, they may also have their personal issues or other reasons because of which there is a high stress or inability to cope up with the academic rigor, which may cause a dropout or a high level of mental stress, sir.
Okay. So back to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Very good afternoon, AYAN.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now, from your DAF, I see that you're born in Napier Town, Liverpool.
Yes, sir.
Now, does this town have anything to do with the British general? Or
Yes, sir.
what is it derived from? What is the history of the place?
Yes, sir. Sir, Charles Napier was an officer in the British Army and later the governor of Sindh. He was known for the Battle of Miani, sir, through which he conquered Sindh, and because of which it has been named after him, sir.
So, now we'll go to your mathematics and another Napier, John Napier.
Yes, sir.
So, what is his contribution to mathematics?
Sir, the one contribution I know, sir, is that Napier's constant is E, sir, 2.718, which is also called the Euler's number.
So he was also known for logarithms, which is
Sorry,
more
sir,
fundamental.
Sir, I will have to read about it. Sorry, sir.
And have you heard of Napier's bones? What is it?
Sorry, sir.
Napier's bones, BONES.
Very sorry, sir. Not heard of it.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. Now, if you look at India's foreign policy and for our neighborhood, we seem to be having strained relationship with every country, be it Pakistan, Afghanistan, sometimes Sri Lanka, Nepal, Burma, and China.
Sorry, sir, the
So-
last part got cut out, sir.
Yeah. Now our relationship with almost all our neighbors seems strained. From
Yes.
a small country, from Burma to Nepal to Sri Lanka to Pakistan, Afghanistan, and finally to our greatest, whatever enemy you call China. So, is there anything wrong with our foreign policy that you end up with this kind of a situation? What is your analysis?
Sir, I do not believe it is a result of any faults in Indian foreign policy. Rather, I believe, sir, that the world order has become so complicated and the power dynamics have shifted in such a manner that every country is trying to pursue their own interests. They are trying to diversify their relationships, and the overall uncertainty in diplomacy, sir, has caused this strain. Sir, we also see other reasons for such strain of relationships. For example, the influence of China, which may have caused discord in Maldives. And sir, when we talk about Nepal and Bhutan, again, we see influence of China. But yes, sir, at the same time, historically, we may have made some mistakes which have led to these situations, sir. For example, in Nepal, sometimes there is a concern from Nepal about interference or brotherly nature towards Nepal, sir. But I do believe that currently we are having the policy of neighborhood first and also trying to help our neighborhood improve in every manner. So relationships should improve soon, sir.
But how do you reconcile or how do you ensure that the situation changes? Because you cannot have hostile neighbors and then become a major power, because you will be restricted in handling this situation itself. Do you think you have any ideas, or is the government pursuing any specific plan to improve the situation?
Sir, certainly it would not be easy to do so, given the complicated nature of international relations today, sir. Sir, the best way to improve relationships would be to engage with the other countries and become a part of their success, or rather to make them a stakeholder in our own success also. For example, sir, increasing economic trade, investments. This, secondly, sir, through building people-to-people relations and cultural links. And thirdly, also, sir, by developing our own security capacity, which bolsters our defense capabilities, which reduces the threats from other countries or solves border issues like illegal migration. This will ultimately
Okay.
result in better.
Okay, if you look at the larger picture in the global context, now how do you see India's stand vis-a-vis Russia-Ukraine conflict and the present Israel-Palestine war for Gaza? Is it consistent or is it changing? If so, what are the basic premise of India's foreign policy now? What is the interest that is driving this kind of a policy now?
So the core driver of our foreign policy today is to promote our own national interests, specifically security and economic interests. To this end, sir, I believe that India's stance with respect to Russia, Ukraine, and Israel, Hamas has been consistent, sir. Keeping in mind our own interests with Russia for our diplomatic, maintaining our humanitarian stand, we have been supporting Ukraine in this regard. Similarly, sir, with respect to Israel and Palestine, we have always criticized terrorism and violence. So we did not vote against Israel initially, but when Israel also pushed extreme excesses against Gaza, then we voted against Israel in the resolution, sir. So we have not changed our stance. Our stance has been our own interests and our own core values, sir.
You feel it's India first policy, or do you see the influence of certain powers depending on the issue?
Sir, I would not consider it to be influence of other countries, but also, sir, India has had a vision of security and growth for all, sir. It is not only India first, but India looks at all other countries together, sir. And also, India feels that our own interests lies in the development and peace in our other countries also. So, sir, we have maintained our strategic autonomy and we have been prioritizing own and others' interests, sir.
Okay. Fine. I have one or two questions on IITs, taking off from what my co-panelist asked you. There is growing criticism that the IITs are mostly serving the multinational corporations. They are, doing well in the US. In fact, I read a report yesterday that in the US, the IITs as a brand have got a mention for contributing to the growth of the United States, which in a way is great for the IIT as a brand. But when you look at in the Indian context, the ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, when they successfully launched Chandrayaan-3, there are a lot of media reports which said that none of the project directors or senior scientists of the ISRO were from the IITs. In fact, the chairman of ISRO, Dr. Somnath, said that when ISRO went to recruit people, students from the IITs, he hardly got any interest from the IIT students. This is similar to what the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, had said earlier. Now, what does this mean? Indian projects, major missions, major, problems are left to students from next to IIT engineering colleges, and IIT students don't find much excitement.
Sir, I believe in this regard, there is the student's perspective, sir, and also the Indian perspective. Sir, for a student, they may be looking for diverse opportunities or higher quality of higher education. For example, sir, master's or PhD, which they find to be of better level in abroad, sir, than India. Also, sir, working in India, they might feel is such as in ISRO or in DRDO, is not offering them adequate monetary rewards, or they feel the work conditions may not be suitable for them, sir. Because of this, and primarily due to financial incentives, they are approaching multinational corporations, specifically in foreign countries, sir. So I do understand that this is a matter of concern. I believe, sir, as India progresses and as we can spend more money for increasing salary of persons in DRDO and ISRO, it will attract better talent also.
And from your response, I get a feeling that the average IIT student is driven by monetary gain or a high package, as they call, as a step to success, and not necessarily the challenge of doing research or taking up great projects which give something new or innovative contribution to the country. Do I simplistically conclude?
Sorry, sir, I should have added further, sir. Perhaps, sir, it is not only the financial lucrativeness for them, but it might be their own financial constraints also. Some people coming from humble backgrounds who have taken loans for their education, they may require a certain level of salary, sir, to be able to repay their loans and to live in a sound manner, sir. And sir, yes, I do understand that the attraction towards research in these areas is low, but I believe it is rising also, sir. In my own experience, I saw some of my friends were working in projects which were related to DRDO, sir. But yes, it needs further improvement, sir.
Now, another thing that the IITs have started doing of late, especially my point is to IIT Kharagpur, they have started MBBS, medicine. And also, I think a course on ancient history, Vedic sciences, and all this. Now, do you think IITs need to get into these areas? Are they under some compulsion to take up all these subjects of late?
Sir, as for the compulsion to do so, sir, there is the provision of multidisciplinarity in the National Education Policy 2020, sir, which may be the driving force. Sir, my opinion in this is that I believe it is a good opportunity or a good avenue to diversify and to integrate different fields and of engineering and other areas. But it certainly has its own challenges, sir, of quality of ensuring personnel and also the employability in this regard. Sir, perhaps after 5 or 10 years, we will be able to see the results of such multidisciplinary education, sir.
Okay, finally, a little bit of politics. In the recent assembly elections in your state, the BJP managed to pull off a impressive victory. What do you think are 3-4 main reasons that the party could overcome anti-incumbency and then do well?
Sir, first I would say is that the work that has been done in Madhya Pradesh in the last several years has been up to mark, sir, and people were certainly satisfied with all the steps taken. Then thus they wanted to see them come to power again, sir. Sir, this I believe was the primary reason. Sir, I understand there are some concerns regarding whether it was schemes like the Ladli Lakshmi Yojana which may have promoted this. And sir, it is possible that it may have influenced voter behavior. But I believe, sir, looking at the entirety and the statistics of voter behavior, sir, I believe it was due to the work that has been done in the last several years, sir.
So you feel performance, issues of development and economics play a part in election results, and not just polarization, welfare and freebies and communal aspects.
Sir, certainly
Is there scope for all these development things also in political results? Is it?
Sir, sorry, sir, the last part got cut. Sir.
Yeah, good performance on economics and social issues also, development issues also are taken seriously by the electorate.
Yes, sir, I do feel so, sir. The electorate has become more aware and more empowered. So all these factors are now coming into place.
So the BJP's, focus on Ram Temple and Ram Mandir and polarization might not be a what you call best bet for the elections in 2024.
Sir, considering India as a country with giving high importance to religion, it may play a role, sir. But at the same time, the development activities by the government and also the manifestos of the different parties, they will also play a big role, sir, keeping in mind the higher level of literacy and awareness amongst people, sir.
Ayan, that was very interesting. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, hi, Ayan. Can you hear
Good
me?
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Right. You come from Bhopal.
Yes, sir.
Bhopal, unfortunately, has a reputation for being the site of a very, very gory industrial disaster.
Yes, sir.
Have you heard of that?
Yes, sir. The Bhopal gas tragedy of 1984, sir.
Right. Now, ever since then, a lot of steps have been taken to ensure industrial safety and to ensure that such accidents do not happen again. Do you know any of those steps that have been taken for enhancing industrial security?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, the legislation of Environment Protection Act 1986 came as an aftermath of the disaster. Secondly, sir, security and safety audits of industries have been brought into place, not just in Bhopal, but in other areas also. And the safety norms and standards of industries have been implemented, sir. Their enforcement might still be needing some more improvement, but it is in place, sir.
Very true. Now, are you a newspaper buff?
Sir, last few days I have not been able to read too much.
Okay. Have you heard of Karpuri Thakur?
Yes, sir.
And why is he in the news?
Sir, he is the former Chief Minister of Bihar and he has been posthumously awarded the Bharat Ratna, sir.
Yeah, but why he? Bihar has a lot of former chief ministers. What's
Yes.
special about Karpuri Thakurji?
Sir, I have not read the exact details, but I'm aware that he was considered to have contributed immensely, and a lot of people have been considering him to be deserving of the Bharat Ratna, sir.
Very true, very true. He was a legend in his own right. Okay, that said, politics today is not a very straight level playing field, they say. And you have a lot of people with criminal antecedents or criminal cases in both assemblies and parliaments. Is that a good feature? I mean, is it what should I say, an exercise of their right to be represented like anyone else, or is it something to be curtailed or discouraged?
Sir, I certainly do not see any clear benefits of this trend, sir, of persons with criminal background entering into politics, and also of politicians engaging in criminal activities, sir. My understanding is that, sir, one enter politics in order to protect themselves from the persecution they might face, sir. And secondly, sometimes political parties promote such criminal persons because of their financial power and the ability to increase votes, sir.
Yeah,
But
what
certainly, yes.
can be done to discourage people with the criminal antecedents from entering politics? Do you think any legislation is required, or is there something else that you have in mind?
Sir, I would say two primary methods, sir. One would be the faster investigation and better implementation of the criminal justice system, sir, to ensure any criminals are punished accordingly. Secondly, sir, the full disclosure of criminal background, along with public becoming aware of these, so that, sir, people can then take a more informed decision. It will automatically serve as a disincentive for such persons to join politics, sir.
Good. Now we'll shift the base. We'll shift the topic to a different one.
Yes.
Defense forces in India have seen a lot of reforms recently. You now have a chief of defense staff instead of chief of army staff and Air Force staff and Navy staff. But more importantly is the talk of theater commands. Would you like to explain what this concept of theater command is and how it is, shall I say, a game changer or an enhancement on the existing strategy?
Sir, I have a rough idea about the theater command. So this refers to mobilizing the armed forces into small groups of 10 to 20 persons, I believe, in order to ensure quick mobility and interoperability between different areas, so that they can be harnessed as a very quick response, sir. But sir, I will read more about it, sir.
Okay. I'll let you go on that then.
Yes.
A last question before I close, since you spoke of maths and all. Shakuntala Devi held a record in mathematics, right? The human computer. Recently, someone broke her record or equaled it or matched it. Do you happen to know who did it?
Sir, I'm remembering roughly that a person memorized a 32-digit number in 4 seconds. But sorry, sir, I will have to revisit
Yeah,
it.
check it out. It is Bhanu Prakash Jonnalagada, again from Hyderabad, who's matched Shakuntala Devi or overtaken her or something. Anyway, that was very interesting. Best of luck and take care.
Okay, Ayan, that's the end of this mock session. Now
Yes.
we will give you feedback one after the other. And if you have any questions or doubts, you may seek at the end of it. So first, let me give my feedback. We have taken about 45 minutes for this interview. Usually they take about 25 to 30 minutes in UPSC, as you would have noticed last time. I must say that you are already a tested person by the UPSC and you have all positive traits. So you are confident, you are also cheerful, you are honest in admitting, saying no whenever you didn't have an answer at your command, and your answers are also very comprehensive. Your articulation is good. So I think keep it up and keep yourself abreast of whatever is happening around. And that's it. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Ayan, you are very well informed on various issues. You have a good grasping, and you have a clear expression on various current events with updated information. Keep it up. Your answers are comprehensive. You got a good insight and able to express them very clearly. And your, your grasp on the current events also quite up to date. Keep it up. All the very best.
AYAN, nothing much to add to what has been already said, because I am in total agreement with what they said. However, I would like to give you a small suggestion. I think there are, you are dropping the word "sir" too many times, either at the beginning or somewhere in the middle, or even at the end. Probably, if you can reduce the number of times you mention "sir," I think the conversation would be more pleasant to hear. Okay, that's one. And finally, I reserved a question for you. The new criminal laws, IPC and CRPC, since you are already born on got selected for this, and you also come from a police family background. There is also a tendency, actually, to by way of legislations, some of the judgments which are actually being given are being reversed through again legislation. Take for instance the law on judgment on talaq, and the judgment on probably IPC 478 or something on adultery. That where a woman is held as a property, and then that it was delegalized. I mean decriminalized. Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think you must also familiarize yourself with the new changes. I think the president has just cleared those bills, accepted that. So they are anytime now become law the moment they are notified. So some of the major changes from IPC to the current new Nyaya Samhita, something Suraksha Samhita. Okay. And also whether it's a good practice for the legislature to sort of, overturn the, judgments which are, well considered particularly sometimes by the constitutional benches and all that. It's almost like a subterfuge they are bringing in what is, undone by the judiciary. Whether that's a good practice, that is something you must reflect upon.
Yes.
Okay. So I think with that suggestion, I wish you all the best. There is nothing more to, find out by way of, further improvement. Good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think I also have very little, except I found you a bit wanting in defending IITs. I thought you could have done better. Because, if you look at in the recent 10 years or so, IIT Bombay has produced, IIT Delhi itself has produced some of the best guys in the startup industry in the country. Then some of the guys in Flipkart and so on are all IIT guys. Similarly, if you look at the endowments or funds flowing into IIT Chennai, Madras, Bombay, a lot of give back from the IIT students to back to the institutes, and a lot of activities being generated. The IITs are producing a lot more, research work, a lot more patents, and a lot more projects within the country. So, if you look at, there is a lot of churn that is happening in IITs for the growth of a lot of things within the country. And a lot of IITs have industry participation of Indian industry being part of IITs in collaborative projects. So a lot is happening here, which I think you missed as far as IIT is concerned. And the other thing, Napier's bones, just for information, I had read it out of curiosity. It's a manual calculating device. So you might have used it, but did not know the name. So in politics also, I think your clarity of thought and response is quite good. Keep it up, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Ayan, you are.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The last point, that all big achievers in multinational corporations or IITs is also not very, very true, because if you look at Microsoft, it is led by Satya Nadella, is not from IIT.
Yeah.
Adobe President Shantanu Narayan is not from IIT. So they're not, it's not as if all IITians are leading big MNCs.
Yes.
Ayan, you are articulate, well informed, express your views pretty clearly. So not much to add. However, I would say read up on your theatre commands issue. Because what you said, I think, concerns long-range patrols of police, not theatre commands. However, you're entitled not to know certain subjects also. It's not that everyone should know everything, but it's always good. It's a current.
Yes.
Then one little suggestion. It's good you're wearing a dress and you buttoned up your shirt. In case you don't, I suppose you plan to wear a tie for the interview.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir. Sorry, sir. I didn't
that'll be
get it.
better. The other thing is, do you have a slight beard?
Sir, I will shave. Sir.
Like the Indian cricket team?
Sir, I will shave on the day of
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, it's always better to be conservative rather than to be
Yes.
rash. So give it your best shot with your best appearance. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Now that the feedback is over, Ayan, you have any doubts or clarifications to seek, you may do so.
Nothing specific, sir.
Good. All the best. God bless you.
I think he'll get.
Thank you, sir.
I feel.
Thank you, sir.
Best
Thank you
of
very
luck.
Thank you, sir.
Best of luck. Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.